My mother, my
You
mother
look
says,
like a mannequin who's having an epileptic fit.
yeah, that's me. Yeah, at the best of times. The 31th March is gone.
And we're still here.
We're still here, and you're wearing your Toe Blake Tavern, or is
Yeah.
it just a Toe Blake T-shirt or
No,
oh,
Toblake
Tavern?
Tavern
Yeah.
on St. Catherine Street. It was a mainstay on St. Catherine Street for years and years, south side of St. Catherine Street, where the Faubourg St. Catherine
Okay.
is now, made
So,
by a very talented friend of mine, Eddie Woke. We know him well. Ed was a producer here in Montreal and in Vancouver on CBC, and he's an artiste.
Eddie's a
He,
terrific guy, and Eddie was woke before it was fashionable to be woke.
yeah, yeah, he was always at the other end of the
Yeah.
curve.
Yeah.
Looking over and saying, "Have you got a
Yeah.
beer?"
That's right. The pendulum didn't do this; it did more like that with Eddie.
Yeah.
But God bless him. God,
God
he's a funny and talented young man.
He's a great guy. I got a couple of quick things for you.
Oh, please go ahead. I
Unless
have
you'd
some.
like to go first today.
Okay, well, let me go first. Mine's not going to take too long. I saw you sipping on something there. I'm going to sip on mine.
What have we got?
This is my espresso. It's kind of an allongé, and this is what my
Smell like molasses.
That's how I like it. And that's my theme for this morning because I'm a beanhead. And
Yeah, you spend what, $150 in a pound of beans?
not so much, but it is near and dear to my heart. And of course, we're shopping local, and I want to mention my local guy here.
Torre Factory.
Yeah, Torre Factory. They're in Saint Eustache. They've been around since 1996. They sell beans. I'll show you the bag of the Italien 2.0 that I have here. It's terrific. They're very, very competent folks. And you'll see a little 3D look at their shop here. They sell machines as well as freshly roasted beans. Very, very good at what they do.
Really
Again,
haut de gamme, isn't it?
Yeah, some of these machines run into the thousands of dollars. But again, if you're a beanhead, you probably have your favorite brûlerie if you're on the island or elsewhere in Quebec or beyond. But if you're looking for a place where you can order via Canada Post, they will be more than happy to send you a nice bag of beans, and they have all manner of their own in-house blends. I buy whole bean and, of course, grind my own.
Why? Why do you do that? I'm not being a smart aleck.
I'm not being a snob either. I like it.
Does it taste that much better? I get stuff from Lufa, actually, a Peruvian blend, but it's not beans. It's already mouillé.
But you drink drip, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, this is a full, and I'll show you the machine I use in a minute. But again, another shout out to Torre Factory. They are open for orders. I sent him an email this morning to ask him if he was available for pickup, and I haven't received a reply. So ordering via Canada Post may be the only solution for the time being, as you can well understand. If you are in the Toronto area, I cannot recommend Social Coffee and Tea more. I've been ordering from them on and off for years now. They're in the Richmond Hill area. They sell coffee and a few little parts. You'll find parts and bits at Torre Factory. Social Coffee is more about the beans, and they have an amazing selection here. They sell, for example, a Mexican variety that is out of this world. And their roasts tend to be more towards the browner mid-range, but the quality of the coffee is absolutely exceptional, and you can order it by the 5-pound bag via Social, and they are available for delivery via Canada Post or UPS anytime, and that's in the Toronto area.
What does a 5-pound bag cost?
About $78 delivered. 5-pound bag of beans, and that's good. It depends. I'm the only one in the house who drinks it, so it'll last me several weeks here. This is the machine I use. It's the Sylvia by Rancilio, which I bought about 3 years ago. And you'll see I don't do much in the way of spouting and everything else. I simply brew the coffee. That's right. Yeah. Yes. As Rowan Atkinson used to do on whatever the show was. And this is the grinder I use. This is my grinder. And these days, I don't want to get too maudlin. I kind of get a little twinge every time I look at it because it's made in Spain. It's made by a company called Escasso for coffee lovers, and this is so the beans, of course, go in the top, and you adjust the grind, and out it comes. So these
How
are the
much did
two.
that go for?
That's about $400, I guess.
And this thing?
This thing about 1,000. So this is, but this is this,
$1,400 for a cup of coffee.
but this is low end, David. I know people who have spent several, as much as they would spend on a car for something that they really. And again, there are purists out there who are much more skilled at this than I am. So spare me the emails about this, that, and the other thing. And I should have bought the other machine. And why are you using that? I don't care. I'm just giving you some suggestions here. So
is it really good? Seriously,
I love it. I love it. I
do
really enjoy it. Yeah.
And you don't put anything in it? No sugar, no milk?
I drink it straight up. I have a cafe au lait in the morning, a double shot of espresso into warm milk, and I use an electric milk warmer. I don't bother with the spritzing attachment here. So that's my little intervention for ce matin. And just another quick little note. Strangely enough, I heard from my buddy. We were talking about this Tartar toothpaste a couple of days ago. My buddy in Pennsylvania, John Gontars, he's actually going to post our Grumpod video on the toothpaste site because we talked about them. So what is more fitting than two old farts talking about Tartar toothpaste showing up on a Tartar toothpaste website? So that's just perfect.
Well,
anyway.
For our age, I know you say you have a tartar problem. You have lovely teeth. So for our age, our teeth are a good selling point too. They belong to us.
They certainly do for the time being. And John mentioned quickly now he's working on getting Canadian distribution and to set a price in Canadian dollars here to order his products. So I'll keep you apprised of that. So this is what I have for this morning: Tartar toothpaste and coffee. Strangely enough, they don't go together very well, but that's what you've got. So.
Well, interesting you mentioned that because I would imagine for a small businessman with a relatively small product, distribution could be prohibitive.
Oh, it is,
right?
Yeah. He's looking into Amazon. He's looking into, and strangely enough, he was telling me that some of the dentists that he's been peddling the product to want nothing to do with it because they're afraid it's going to take revenue away from them when it comes to cleaning teeth.
It's that good.
That's what he claims, and it's based on my use. It works very, very well. And I visit my dentist, or at least was visiting my dentist twice a year for cleanings alone because of the difficulties I have with tartar. So this is
why. Let me see you smile.
It's not so much the color of the teeth, it's what accumulates between the teeth. You see.
Right.
And again, I don't want to cover all this ground again, but oral health is very, very important at the best of times. And it's been tied to Alzheimer's and diabetes and all sorts of things. And
heart disease.
We neglect these connections between the various parts of our bodies. We tend to think of everything as a monolithic, right? The brain is one thing, and then the gut is the next, and never the twain shall meet. But it's the opposite. We all are highly interconnected. So
we are indeed,
yep.
And especially between the brain and the gut. I've got some stuff to share with you. You know as well as I do that we do a lot of hard work before we actually get on the air. You know, as close as 5 minutes before we hit the air,
That's right.
I look like this.
There you go.
That's the way I look.
Yeah.
And of course, 5 minutes before we hit the airwaves, you look like this.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. And then under the hot lights and the pressure and the script changes, mid-program, just seconds after we are off the air, you look like this.
That's how I feel internally most of the time. Yes, you've got it right on.
And I look like this.
Oh my, a very dapper-looking gentleman. Yes.
There he is. That's the boy. That's our
Tom
Newfoundland Tommy.
Yeah.
Finish this.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
And
I did indeed. Well, they sent him off to Siberia for his crime.
Okay.
But he found. Let's put it this way: the Cossack did it.
Okay.
So that is. I'm not sure what I'm gonna. Something a little lighter this time. Maybe.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I
The
was going to
balls.
I was going to
The,
suggest a day in the life of Ivan Denisovich, but that's
I'm not
probably
ready for the Brothers Karamazov yet, so
uh,
I'm looking into something. Maybe de Balzac would be
oh,
interesting.
great. Okay.
This is for people who are at home and are finding that things are getting a little bit
Oh
testy.
my. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
It's just a
Just thought
joke.
I'd
Just
throw
joking.
that one. Yeah, just joking. People are using this self isolation system. People actually are doing online concerts and things like that. But I found this little piece of artwork on the web, and you know how talented and resourceful people are. This is a mock uh, promo for a concert. So depressed mode, pearl jammies, system on.
The cough test dummies. Okay.
Yeah, no kids on the
Or the
block.
couch test dummies. I got
The
you.
couch, yeah, the indoors, pandemic at the disco. I thought that
My
was it's pretty good.
Miley
It
virus. I like that one.
my self-isolation presents. Let's see what else we got here. Tom Hanks is still self-isolating in Australia, and they apparently roll volleyballs around in Australian hospitals. That's kind of a joke that Tom is involved in. He's still self-isolating. He got a mild case of it.
He's back in the
Oh,
U.S. now. Yep.
yes, he is.
Yep.
That picture's a few days old. This, I thought of you. This is from Hammaker Schlemmer. And I don't think you have a light over your BBQ, do you?
I don't. I haven't had a light over my BBQ since I was 8. Some somebody shot out my porch light a long time ago.
Isn't this a cool idea? It's
That's
about $80.
that's interesting. So all right. So
And you just strap it to the thing at the top, and if you're out late at night and it's a starry night or not a starry night, this little. So I thought of you. You
well,
love
thank you.
gadgets,
That is
and
a prescient. Can you imagine how much barbecuing is going to go on the moment that it
oh
gets
my
warm enough
God,
outside?
yeah.
Okay.
And we have gardening that is starting to be done. I know you've done it yourself already. You've already started, right? Are you
Well,
out
we were
there?
out cleaning up, and we had trees cut down and cleaning up branches. And my goodness, but I'll have to take a photograph of the amount of bird seed that is accumulated in the
Oh yeah.
backyard here.
Have you got that sort of crater in the center of your yard too, where you're
We
below
have
your bird feeder?
we have a pergola, and we were using bird feeders, but it was just a pain in the ass to fill them all up. So I would put the seeds. I would dig out a hole in the snow and just put the seeds around as a sort of a horseshoe pattern here. And now we must have about 87 tons of seeds all accumulating. But we're a popular stop for the bird.
Okay, what do you get? We get cardinals, blue jays, a
We
lot
have a
of
cardinal pair.
goldfinches.
There were some mourning doves I've seen.
Oh,
Jays. The jays are really aggressive. They're really
yeah.
nasty. They
Oh,
really get in.
they steal they steal nests, and they're big birds.
They are. They're
We,
huge, and we have crows, and we have the occasional visit to by a hawk, either a hawk or an eagle. I think it's a hawk, and he'll sit there on the pergola for about an hour or two and just wait.
well, it's
Uh,
probably a hawk because eagles are
yeah, yeah,
enormous.
just
Yeah,
just
really.
waiting for lunch to come by. Uh,
Uh,
and there's quite the and the neighborhood cats like to kind of wander around here too. So
yeah, well, that's what I wondered about on the ground because some of them we have a feeder, but some of them do feed on the ground, the small grackles and things. But I worry about them because we got a lot of cats in this
yeah,
neighborhood, but they seem to be doing fine.
that reminds me of a gadget which we used, and I'll pick it up and show it to you in the next day or two. A gadget we used last season. It's one of these frequency generators that ostensibly annoys skunks and cats and others, and it worked
Hmm.
quite well. So I'll dig up a photograph of it and give you more details in the next day or two.
You get woodpeckers?
Uh,
You get a
we
downy woodpecker. They like the fat.
we
You put
had
in a
one.
cage.
We had one or a pair perhaps, but we had to cut. We had a tree that was literally growing right out of our deck. There, we had a hole in it. We had to cut it down due to whatever the worm is. The disease is Dutch disease or whatever it is. So
Not Dutch elm.
no, whatever. A lot of trees are coming down here because of
Mm,
infestation. So we lost that one just a few weeks ago.
we've had some. This is, I don't know if you know this comedian, Vic DiBitetto.
No.
I first saw him when he was trying to change the clock in his car, reading the booklet. And it's not a booklet anymore. I'm right. The stuff that,
Yeah.
the instruction stuff that comes with the car is 350 pages.
It is a tome. Yes.
This guy is very funny. The New Jersey accent helps. He's always in a bad mood, always in a bad mood. Real New Jersey accent. He sounds like a good fella. He sounds like a guy who would hang around with the gang from what was the name of that TV series on HBO? Oh God, isn't that terrible? Anyway, real New Jersey accent. Some of them are funnier than others, but I would highly recommend the one where he is trying to change the clock on his car while reading the booklet.
So Vic DiBitetto is his name.
Yeah, he's known as Stick Dog Vic, and he's very, very sharp.
And I found the name of that young comedian who does the Trump imitation. I posted that on.
How'd you find it? I could not.
I found that you have to dig in. I found the Twitter feed of somebody else who'd posted it, and I dug down a little bit further. So you'll find his name and his website on my page there. So
he does the imitation of 45 that I did.
Young stand-up guy from I don't know where exactly, American fella, but very, very funny.
Very good indeed. And when we had Peter on yesterday, he mentioned a wonderful show he loved, short-lived unfortunately, called NBC News Overnight, and mentioned the hosts were Linda Ellerby.
Right.
And this very young picture of Linda, and we couldn't think of the other name, and then Peter mentioned it, and I think you or I were talking, and we missed it. Lloyd Dobbins was the co-host.
Lloyd Dobbins, of course. I remember he had glasses at the time too.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and Linda was just this wry, lovely, dry Texas delivery, and she was very, very good. And that's going to be it for me.
And you're back. Terrific. No, Peter Anthony Holder is the fellow we're talking about who was on in the previous episode. Mm-hmm. And you're back to sharing now. Turn off your sharing.
Back to sharing?
Yep. The white button. Okay. There you go. All right. And he dropped me a little note last night. He said that he contacted the Gabby Cabby in New York, and he's alive and well, recovering from his back surgery, but everything's okay with him. So.
Oh, that's good to hear. He's had him on for a lot of years. He must be a rather
it goes
old
back
cat.
It's got to be more than 20 years, because he was doing that with I don't even know what this fellow's real name is, but when I was working at CJAD more than 20 years ago, he was checking in with the Gabby Cabby. So
it's a great feature. Anyway, we had fun yesterday with Peter. I've got one more quick thing. It was just one of those.
Oh no, you're not gonna get into Indian dancing or anything now, are you?
It was one of those happy mistakes. Yeah, just a wacky mistake. This is a tea egg here.
Yes.
And I am doing now only leaf tea.
Why?
Because the bags do not decompose. They do have material in them.
I'm not a tea drinker. Sorry.
Yeah, so you don't give a damn.
I don't really care.
I'm not involved.
I don't care. No, I don't care.
Yeah, I know. No. So this was hot, so I hung it from the bag, which I use for compost.
Yes.
And by some merry mix-up, it ended up in my brown composting box yesterday. So I had to search through my composting box.
Yeah. Okay.
It laugh. It was exactly. I looked exactly like that.
And this is why I don't drink tea.
Yeah, but you drink other things.
What kind of leaf tea do you drink? Stop touching your hair and your face.
I'm sorry. I love Irish breakfast.
Oh yes.
And I love Scottish breakfast. I can't get it. They have a very good tea. They have very good coffee too from Loofah. That's where I get my tea. I get a small bag. It lasts me several weeks. I have 1 cup of tea. It is a tradition. You can't take the Irish out of the boy. It is a tradition. In my family, Dad had tea even in his working days. While other guys were drinking coffee at the office, Dad would have a cup of tea. So we're all tea drinkers.
My spouse is a tea drinker, a nefarious tea drinker. Well, nefarious for many other reasons too, but an inveterate tea drinker. I never took to tea. It never. And I remember
No, you wouldn't be the
I
type.
had
You don't have the compassion.
And I remember I was hosting a couple of Britons many years ago in the early '80s. A friend of mine, there was two young women who were traveling, and he couldn't put them up. He asked me, "Can you put them up for one night?" I said, "Sure." So we got to my place late in the evening, and they wanted a cup of tea, and I think I had 2 or 3 tea bags that had been sitting at the bottom of a cupboard for about 2 years. Right? They were
God knows what the brand name was.
It was Salada or something. They were just
Ah.
appalled. They were appalled. They very kindly sipped their tea, but they probably
Yeah, they drink it at night too. Tea has as much caffeine as coffee does.
it has more caffeine than coffee, I think,
Is it? Okay.
by volume. So anyway, and Lufa, the company we keep referring to, is Lufa Farms. They deliver foods in the Montreal area.
They have an online website. They're up in Saint Laurent.
And they are really scrambling now to keep up. And they've had difficulties like many other providers. But if you are a customer, then good on you, because it is local, and they grow local, and they employ local. And Toe Blake was local, and so are you and me. And that's all we have for today, for me. Anyway,
We'll talk to you tomorrow, and we're in the days to come. We're going to have Tommy
Harrington. I haven't heard from him. He's a busy man, because he leaves work right around this time, shifts. Eastern time, and he's bringing us the news and other things, and he's very good at what he does. So we hope to speak with Tommy later this week, and Pierre Damour as well. One of our colleagues will be joining us down the line. So more to come, more merriments and informations.
Well, back to the coffee grinding, I guess. Back to the grind.
Back to the grind. Ciao.
À demain.